All right, here we are going live on 6/11. I'm sorry, May 29th. We're going to be talking about what's going to happen on June 11th here shortly. But if nobody's come on live yet, so if you're listening to me right now, you're not live and listen to the recording. The only way you can get me live is you have to hit the subscribe button, and there's a little bell to the right of it, and you have to click it. It's on and off toggle so that it has to say all notifications. Otherwise, you're never going to see me live, right? So it has to say all notifications. Now, it's okay if those of you just want to watch it non-live anyway, but love to chat with you here when it makes sense. Hey, Rick says, Rory, he's number one again. KJV, you must have a great connection, Rory. Bible Reader Live, Ethnic Wings, how you doing? JM, Ray, good to see you, buddy. Seth, and he's my president. I'm here. Magley, Lazik, RJ, Julie, Crazy, Dogfather. Yeah, so tell me where you're from, because we got somebody from Connecticut and Tennessee and New Jersey. Ken and Kathy and Daniel and Sharon and Jill and Ann and Rory. Rory number one. That's right. He is my president. And what is it? Emma Spacewoman from North Carolina. So tons of people coming on. So now we're going to talk about something exciting here that I found last night. I was studying this stuff all late last night, and this thing about 6/11/18. It means multiple things. I'll tell you about it in a second. Again, 6/11/18. What does that really mean? And it's going to be some of the stuff I couldn't find yet in yesterday's video that I was trying to find real quick. And now I'm going to make sure I can show you that. But I'm also going to talk to you about, hey, one of the things this means is the full armor of God, which was just crazy to me as one of the subscribers told me this. And I think a guy named Mr. Brown I need to give some credit for some earlier things he shows me. Guys, I'm studying so much stuff and looking at so many sources. I apologize if I don't give the credit where credit's due. As you know, I have some sources here that are really more around just reddit.com and the Great Awakening. That's my favorite one. And then there's this guy named Neon Revolt, who's awesome, and Dan Bongino and Sarah A. Cotter. So a lot of sources. And now I'm starting to get stuff from you guys on Twitter and stuff. So it's awesome. But we're going to go over to Cueanon News on May 29th and really connect some dots on some things that I think are just amazing. And I'm back to this whole back channel 17 potentially being true. And so QAnon, Julian Assange, what's he all about? There's really some interesting things coming. There's this new guy on Twitter called I Spy, which we'll talk about in a bit. So a lot of exciting things. Let's get into it right now. So if we actually move over and dig into the actual Q post, you know that nothing's been put on since May 22nd. A lot of people are saying he's already done his job. We're done with the research phase. Now we're in the implementation phase, right? I believe he's going to be coming back at certain times, but we'll see what happens. But there might be more blunt openness versus this having to be on a secretive board, right? Like this right now, or the anonymous board. And so one thing I wanted to show you all, what I was trying to show you last time, was the whole thing about the password that he revealed, right? It's only in one little area, and you can't search for it. That's why it's sometimes difficult to find. So if you type in the word wrong, that's one way to really find this. So for you who aren't learning how to use this, I want you to please go to QAnon.pub. QAnon.pub. QAnon, anon.pub. And on the upper left, you can just type in whatever you want, and it'll take all those things down to 5, right? So it went from 1,400 plus, and it filtered it to just 5. That's the beautiful thing about that. Then you can click over here to free the cursor up and hit Control F and type in wrong again, and it'll show you where those words were each time. And this is what I wanted to show you. Yesterday it was embarrassing. I was trying to find the 19th, and I went to April 19th versus May 19th. So just a few, 10 days ago, he posted this that actually showed his password that he had purposely leaked, right, before he changed the password to show us that he had foreknowledge to now comes the pain, right? Now comes the pain, and it's this long dash 23. So this now comes the pain, using the ampersands as the O and the ampersand as the A, right? Typically done in passwords a lot of times. Now comes the pain, and dash minus 23. I thought this was 5/23, May 23rd, but it wasn't. Obviously, nothing huge happened. There's a lot of news that happened that the pain's coming. There's no question about that. But as far as the major pain, right, that we're looking at, here we are on this. So this is See, I just got a message from somebody. Just make sure everybody's. Are we okay on the sound and everything? It looks like everybody's. Yeah, I'm testing well on the sound. Everything looks good. So I was getting a text message from Madeline Anderson. I didn't know if it meant I had something wrong. But anyway, what's amazing about this is this talks about when they did the false flags. They thought it was coming yesterday. They were wrong. Follow the pin. So he's talking about follow the pin with the pain. Now I haven't deciphered that yet. One of the subscribers sent me something that probably does decipher it, and I haven't put my brain around it enough to really dig into it. But some things that we know that it does mean, if you just look at the calendar and you take the 19th of May, right there where that came out. So that's the 19th of May. You can see right here, 19th of May. And look at a calendar. You'll see, here I am using the evil Google calendar, right? So, but 7, 14, 21 days. You see that? So you can count all the days if you want to, but it's 7 days, 14, 21 days on the 9th, and then 21, 22, 23. So it's the 6/11. So it's pretty consistent that everybody's saying 6/11. All the stuff I showed you on the whole back channel 17 had headers of 6/11 and everything's going to happen. All the stuff I read you that on that channel that's now been taken down was all 6/11, and so that points to the same thing. And one of the I Spy guy you'll see here in a second talks about it was a very important date for Julian Assange last year. So it's going to be an anniversary. Supposedly Julian Assange is going to come out, and he's been here maybe in the States for the last 5 months when we took him out in December. Who knows? That might be the case. But Pamela Anderson here on June 17th reacts to Julian Assange's rape case being dropped. Now, it was actually dropped back in May of 2017, but this is the only thing I could really find that really linked to Julian Assange in June 11th, 2017. So you guys will have to let me know if you found something more interesting, but it was an article by the Inquisitor really talking about Pamela Anderson and their romance, and it interviewed them, or quoted them both, talked about that. So if you find something better on June 11th, 2017, please let me know via my Twitter, which is Blessed to Teach, or in the comments below here in the video. Right now, here's the stuff that I haven't wrapped my mind around. And now I'll put the link to this, but this link is to Fed Up with Swamp. So it's a Twitter account, Fed Up with Swamp. Fed Up with Swamp. And there's 4 pictures he or she posts here, and it talks about the clock, right? And see if I can actually get this rolling for you guys. So there's actually 4 pictures. The first picture talks about the clock, and it talks about, I'm going to read some of this to you, so maybe you guys will be smarter than I am. Proofs for the Q clock timetable. Let's begin with the assumption that 1 day equals 1 minute. So that's pretty much everybody's made that decision. What date should we start with? 12 o'clock equals 00? No, let's start with Q. So basically, that's why you saw Eric Trump putting the clock there with 5:25. If a Q, if it were a clock, looks like the hands of 5-5, right? So that's what they're talking about, 5-5. So with hands of 5-5, we can say it would be 5:25. What a good date to associate with Q, question mark, right? What about the date of Q's first post on 10/28? And then they go over this 10/28 post about basically Hillary Rodham Clinton extradition already in motion, effective yesterday, with several countries in the case of cross-border run. Passport approved to be flagged effective 10:30 at 12:01 a.m. Expect massive riots organized in defiance and others fleeing the U.S. to occur. U.S. military will conduct the operation while the National Guard activated. Proof check. Locate a National Guard member and ask if they activated on the duty at 10:30 across most major cities. And then this other one was the next one on 10/28 that said Hillary Clinton will be arrested between 7:45 to 8:30 a.m. EST on Monday, the morning of October 30th, 2017. Which was interesting because whether this happened and they released her, which could often happen like they did with Harvey Weinstein, they did this or was this an error or was this misinformation? What's that? But then this person saying, we could fill in the table just from this, but let's explore. Let's look for a reference to clock. So in 12:18, and Anon asks, what happened in 12:7? Q replies, clock started 10 days. That means our clock should be at 00 and 12/7, 10 days ago, confirmed. So this actually says, brilliant Anon explaining how this timestamps, tweets, and clocks verify works. I never realized Q's pin, his pin, was always positioned like the clock hand until I studied these pics. So you'll see that in a second. But this here is now talking about clock started 10 days there. What happened on 12/7? And so then they go through this big long list of starting 00 on 12/7. See that? So they save it, and they start with 1 o'clock though versus the 5:25, which I don't know, doesn't make too much sense to me. So being a 00 at 12/7, and so that's when they start this big long countdown, and then somehow they have on 11/3 Podesta, 11/6 Huma, 11/11 a marker. So I haven't put this together yet. Here they have 11/22 5/5, and since they're starting here on December, this would mean a lot of this stuff wasn't going to happen until November of this year, which would be just a shame to me. So this was depressing. When I saw it, I was going, no, I don't want to have to wait all the way to November, right, for some of this stuff to happen. And then here's another detailed list of a bunch of posts. And again, it's the same description because it's the same series of four posts. And now this actually comes up with with a bunch more posts that talks about Trump fixes Kim Jong-un's typo after 1 hour and 15 minutes. So they're using it as the clock to say Q clock dates correspond to 15 minutes, none on 2:20, and several on 12:22. So I don't know. They're not explaining this to me. There's no real good explanation, and people are acting like they know what it is, and I think half of them don't understand it, at least that. So you guys, I'd really appreciate your interpretation of what this is trying to tell me. But it's talking a lot about these markers. Now, the one that kind of makes sense to me is the next picture, which talks about all the pins, right? And this basically is highlighting with some colors, so it kind of makes a little bit more sense to me. And they took the 4 pictures of the pin, and they relate them to where the clock could be. But let's go up to the top of this before I jump to that. So here is follow the pin, already written, letters left visible to match, right? And that was talking about the executive order. But this is talking about follow the pin. Now, the explanation here says, those who are loudest, suicide weekend, pain Q. So find the suicide weekend post, right? And if you look at that, there's other ones that talk about this EO unrevealed today was the precursor. It must be requested officially first correct. So this was talking about a post that was on 5/16. And then here is the tweet from Ron saying, thanks for responding favorably to the letter I sent. With Jim Jordan and Republican Mark Meadows, let's cut through the reluctant bureaucracy, get the truth, and hold people accountable. So those are the posts that we've read and studied, but it's talking about find suicide weekend. And then they've taken this post that said way back on 2/10 that said next week, suicide weekend, ? And then they've somehow interpreted that this yellow thing, 3 weeks till suicide weekend, ? 3 weeks from today, 5/20, and is 6/10. So they're landing on a 6/10 versus a 6/11 date. And the 6/10 date is what they've deciphered. So 6/10 or 6/11, there's a lot of things pointing toward those specific dates. And what they're talking about is the pin, like they're saying this pin is actually pointing. 12/12 is also the same minute of the Q clock as the original suicide weekend post. So we're talking about 12/12 was this pin post. And so they're pointing to that being 12/12. And that the 5 would be like, this is pointing, if you can kind of see it, it'd be like to the 5 on a clock. So this is like, woo, not very definitive to me, but they've got some pretty deep stuff here. Here they're talking about 4/11. A clean house is very important, an FIB burning midnight oil, and I'm not sure exactly what they're talking about there. And they kind of put it together in this last post, which is the 4th picture, where they take the 4 pins and they say, Here, like we talked about the date 12/12, the Q clock table says 5, and the pin points to 5. So it's confirming that, yes, that we're on the clock. 12/12, you're at 5 minutes, right? And here we've got another pin that's pointing either to 12 or 6 o'clock, right? And it says date 1/6. The clock says 30. Pin points to 30. So if you go back to this big clock and you look at 30, there's 1/6, right? Then it's pointing to 30. Here we are on 1/6. So that is so far. So basically, it does show the countdown by minute are following the pin, which we're talking about, right? Here was the one that was 12/12. 5, so you can see on 5 minutes it was 12/12. So this is it could be these pins are actually pointing us, follow the pin on the timing of everything. And this right here says date 1/24, Q clock table says 48, pin points to 48, and you'll see here we are on 48, and it's 1/24. 1/24 was the post. So this does kind of work out. It's just that the pins aren't pointing always in the right direction. Like this is pointing down to the 30, but this looks like it could be pointing either way. This one's definitely pointing here, but now they're saying it's pointing there because of 48. So it's like, it's not massively conclusive to me, but it is kind of interesting. So if you look at this one, this one here, I have to move my cursor off for it, it'll get in your way. But it basically talks about Q519, Q clock table says 43 minutes, pin points to 27. Trump's tweet is at 27 minutes, and so they have to bring in this tweet down here, which this is cut off, but it shows a tweet that was actually done at like 5:27, and so the tweet provides the confirmation, and so that's what they're talking about here in 5:19 and the 43. So wow, just and somehow they're pointing all that, and then you basically take the 23 days, and then you're back to 6:10 or 6:11. So if you guys can put that together in a more concise fashion and figure out what that really says, I debated even putting it on here because it's so confusing. But there are some cool things I wanted to show you. We talked about back channel 17 pointing to 6:11, right? The minus 23 pointing to 6:11. Now this is pointing to 6:10 or 6:11 time period, right? And then somebody emailed me last night, one of the subscribers, and they just put 6:11:18 in the browser. You can do this now. If you have Google or I do DuckDuckGo, you can see my DuckDuckGo here, and you put in 6 space 11 space 18. What's the first thing that comes up that's not a commercial? Ephesians 6:11 through 18. Put on the full armor of God, and my jaw dropped when I saw this because I go, oh my goodness, because what did he post on May 20th? It was literally Ephesians 6:10-18. See, that would point to 6:10 versus 6:11. But it had the full armor of God. But a lot of people start, though, right here on 6:11. So 6:11 would be right here where it says, put on the full armor of God. That's why this started right here when you put 6:11:18, put on the full armor of God. That's where it starts. So 6:11:18 is literally the full armor of God, which Cueanon posted on May 20th. I was just shocked when I saw this. So it's like this 6:10:18 could be the date. That's a Sunday before the 6:11 date. That's Assange is going to be doing something. So it's going to be probably. So what I think what they're saying is could this be Suicide Sunday when they realize it's coming out on 6:11? The Wiener laptop stuff, Julian Assange letting everybody know the world is, and then 6:10 is the suicide weekend. So that's what I've gotten so far about this, but a lot of stuff pointing to a couple of weeks from now, and they say watch the news that day, right? Now here's this the Spy guy. If you go look at him, and you can follow him on Twitter, he's just acting so confident and seems to be so spot on that I have to give him a little bit of legitimacy. It doesn't appear to be, but he's really talking as if he really knows what's going on. He's part of the NSA. If you look at his Twitter account, I'm gonna first go over his question and answers. We'll kind of go back to the Twitter account, but you'll see it says there's a little I with an NSA. So he basically says his old bosses. I think he was alluding to Admiral Rogers. So I think this is a patriot in the NSA working for Admiral Rogers and does not like the deep state and wants to take him down. So he basically had a bunch of interesting stuff. He's just started on, I think, May 27th, just a couple of days ago. But these are real interesting answers and questions. So he basically says, you have some questions? Good, you should. Heck of a lot of confusion about the storm. I'll make it simple. Just ask. Put a question below about anything. I'll give you a real intel IDC, what I have access to, all of it. You want answers? No secret squirrel BS here. I got you, fam. I've got you, fam. So anyway, so there's some good discussion going on here too, but we'll look at this with what he says. So here's the question: WikiLeaks compromised? Is the question by Joe Dirk. He says big time. Bought out and comped. They detest Q Intel. They pretend to fight for Julian Assange freedom while milking money out of the dupes. Trying to make that bigger for you. They want access to Julian Assange as a hostage to keep their wallets lined. When was the last time they leaked actual intel? They don't give a S about Julian Assange or you. So that's his answer about is WikiLeaks compromised. WikiLeaks just posted an article attacking Q. So supposedly he's been away from in the United States for like 5 months is what iSpy is telling us. The Spy is telling us, right? So let's dig into this a little more. This person is so that LeakyWeeks lawyer tweet in reference to Back Channel 17 was false. She is in on it? Question mark. So the Spy says false information, yes. False intent, impossible to say if she even understands the scope of what is happening. Team is kept at a distance, no visitors, etc. Very easy to convince a co-op with good intentions. More likely misled and fighting honestly for a cause, knowingly corrupted. So that was the kind of answer. He's not real sure about this lawyer, whether his intent was good or bad. Any info on mysterious booms across the world? Which ones? There have been a few. Are they not all connected, man-made? So here he's talking about all these booms that we hear. He says most are man-made, a few different reasons. Some is geological warfare being practiced. Some is upper atmosphere play done by harping scientists. And some belong to things so literally out of this world, you'd think me crazy for saying. So that was kind of interesting about the booms that were going on. Here it says, Dulce Wars, real or not? And here's when, well, it has to be things that haven't made the fringe of public disclosure. I've gone as far as Dulce Wars, real or not? And he says, Benowitz wasn't crazy. There are things out there that would curl your hair. So I'm not exactly sure what all that is, but that was the answer to that. Here's another question. One more, if I may. Will Barry or HRC ever do any prison time? He says, prison won't be where they go. Heads will roll soon. So I was going, woo, that would be interesting. Will we know of sins of the past, JFK, Truth, Franklin, cover-up, and things like this? Yes, and very soon. Would that not be good news? I sure hope this guy's legit. 6/11, we're talking about the date. Right, we're talking about 6/11/18, right? What is it? Sick of games, Raven says. He says, this isn't the date the S blows open once and for all. So it's a date that the shit blows open once and for all. S hits the fan, right? Right before the North Korean summit, it seals the deal for POTUS, war on corruption, and is the end of the witch hunt. Gonna be a big speech thing from Assange about Russia and HRC, etc. Gonna be good. Bring popcorn. So this guy may be too good to be true, but he's telling us some things that at least I sure hope's true. And he also emphasized a little bit more. Extremely public, whole world. So if we all get to know all this on 6/11, that would be a sweet thing, because that's only a week and a half away, right? Here's another person that says, will all info on corruption and evil deeds be accessible by public willing to know? Yep, 100% of it. That's what 6/11 is all about, right before the North Korean summit. Woo! So now there's he kind of goes off air and people start posting questions. So we go all the way to here before we get another one. Did you see the statement from WikiLeaks about Q? And he reemphasizes, WikiLeaks is a compromised entity with a hostage to use no more. Since Assange was extracted by our forces months ago, they have been on a losing streak. Their days are as numbered as HRC. So basically, WikiLeaks is slamming Julian Assange, it's slamming Cueanon, and they're saying they're completely compromised now. So don't trust WikiLeaks at this point in time, is what, again, this NSA informant is telling us right now. Here's another one. Is the Canadian PM Trudeau and Alex Soros meeting any different than George Soros and Trudeau meeting? And so in terms of topics or conversations also is that picture of Alex Soros in which suit and red shoes with his arm around the girl and a black hooded dress of Meghan Markle. And he says, not really. So those meetings are similar. They are all connected. Markle was passed around for years and years. Nickelodeon crop. Isn't that sad? Nickelodeon was basically a crop of kids that got fed to the pedophiles. Sad stuff. Soros, Trudeau, Bronfman, Rothschild, etc. All connected, all intermarried for centuries. Ruling elite bloodlines are kept pure this way. So, just eats me up, right? That's what we're talking about in the book, Killing of Uncle Sam. So I think that may be the last one on this question and answer period. No, here he has another one. Will there be a coup in our country? What is your country? USA, no. So that will be really good news. I think we're going to have the military ready. Did John Jr. disclose all to POTUS? I know they were great friends. Yes, POTUS was motivated in part by his death to change his own life and fight for truth. So basically that would be JFK Jr., right, that was actually probably killed by a purposeful plane accident. And so here we go. Somebody asked a big, long question. He said, narrow the question. They never narrowed it down, so we'll skip that one. Okay, this is fun. I'll bite. What is under Antarctica? Why so much traffic there? What are they hiding? And he basically had a whole world of things, literally. So he kind of emphasized it a little bit more, and he talks about how about good actors make good movies. The one that I can't figure out is Comey, white hat or black hat. He says, not a good guy. I could have told you that Comey is a black hat. Are clowns responsible for school shootings black hats? He says it depends on the event. Bad things do happen. Some people are crazy. Yes, there are instances where preventable things were allowed to happen and or sick people were urged by outside sources, and some that are outright inside jobs. So now this guy sounds pretty intelligent to me. So that answer really made me think, hey, maybe this guy is legit. Is Pence playing for the right team? Pence is complicated. No easy answers. Pence didn't always play nice. We have leverage over him that ensures he does. So there's a lot of people saying that Pence's best friend was a pedophilia and he was protecting them and he was kind of siding with the deep state when Trump may have been in trouble. But now, obviously, they have something on him and Pence is under control. So I don't know if he's going to be the vice president much longer. Most anons are talking about and discussing. What is back channel? Was back channel 17? That's a video I did 2 videos ago. Julian Assange. Yes, in part, it was operated by a team of people for the select purpose of exposing bad actors. So this might be the controversial thing because a lot of people were saying that Q said back channel 17 was fake. That he literally clearly said it was fake. Now, earlier he's also said there's disinformation, and I guess they felt that it was important not to have that back channel thing go so crazy. But if you go back and look at some of that, it looked pretty spot on as well. So at least back channel 17 is spot on with I the Spy. If they're psyops, they've kind of got me right now, just to be honest, right? I just want to make sure you guys understand that I think this is relatively legitimate. That's why I'm sharing it with you. I wouldn't be sharing it with you if I thought it was not legitimate. But he says, yes, in part, it was operated by a team of people for the select purposes of exposing bad actors. We're talking about back channel 17. The news cycle itself changed around the ID reveal and Stringer post. So I think they're talking about here is the fact that the only channel that, or I guess the only follower of back channel 17 was Julian Assange, right? It was only following one other account, and it was Julian Assange. And so it had only like 348 viewers. So obviously everybody thought it was illegitimate CIA op. Don't believe it. At the same time, if you go back and look at the history of that, and I wish I could find an archived history of it, it was spewing truth, very consistent with QAnon from what I saw. Compromised WikiLeaks continuously engaged them aggressively. I would look at those facts as pretty solid proof, right? So when you know a person by their enemies, they often say, right? So when somebody's being attacked by the deep state and MSM, they're probably a white hat, right? Now that doesn't go for everything, but I think that is true, that we're something that we have to really always look at. This is only the first of 4 of these, so I'm going to have to speed it up a little bit here. Why not cut Brennan, Clapper, Clinton, Obama, Kerry from classified info? Aren't they a danger at this point? Better to let them lead us to everyone else and then cut off the heads at once. We're in full control. I thought that was pretty cool. So again, this is on May 27th. We're getting all these. Is Seth Rich dead? There's rumors going that he's not really dead, et cetera, et cetera. And it says, yes, he was killed by MS-13 for leaking the DNC information to Julian Assange. I think we all know that. With respect, tell us why you can be trusted. He says, only a fool offers blind trust, and only a crook demands it. Make up your own mind, use it, sharpen it, and don't get hoodwinked by idiots. So, I don't know, that could be a warning that he's not legit, but I think it was more trying to say he's not going to give himself out. He's basically a patriot in the NSA, is what he's claiming anyway. Isn't there any reason why we should be worried? Anything you need us to do? So here's his advice. Are you talking specifically about the storm? Did you ever have to do anything? Being aware is enough to scare the living S out of you, out of the powers that be, and for those of you following Q. You have enough intel to sink a planet, which is kind of the goal. So anyway, pretty cool stuff there. See if there's have anything down below here. I think this first thread. Oh, there's another one. Chemtrails, atmospheric aerosols. Why? Damage done. He says, very good question. Complicated answer. Best way to answer. When the skies are all clear, the war is over. So I think he's alluding to that our chemtrails still, and when they're clear, you'll know that Trump's won, or the white hats have won. Will the Fed end? Gold standard restored? Liquid RV, real or pipe dream? So he says structures must be in place or people will suffer. There will come a day when the Federal Reserve is ended. Still much to do before it can happen. And so I read another brilliant post from an Anon that was talking about us going back to the gold standard, and we've already been arresting bankers right and left, and Trump is well into the plan of replacing the Federal Reserve. But that's a hard one, very important one, as we go to new currency backed by gold. So that is going to be amazing. Is that not going to be amazing? So here's the second thread of questions. Got a question that needs answered? Go for it. So this is basically a couple hours later on May 27th, the night of. And here's people asking questions. And somebody's posting things. Logical, thank you. Over 30,000 sealed indictments. How will that play out? Most of them quickly in one fell swoop. So that's interesting. That's a mass arrest theory, right, that he's clearly talking about here. Just going and looking for the I. A lot of people asking questions not getting answered now because there's so many people started piling on. This person says, will secret healing technology, free energy, food replicators, and etc. be released to the public soon? And the truth about all the different ETs. So I'm sure that's truth is what they meant. It's a typo. He says way over the mark. Basically, you're over the mark, which means true. True. Wouldn't that be cool? We're going to actually understand, after this is all cleaned up, secret technology that heals us, free energy, food replicators, and they'll be released to us, as well as truth about extraterrestrials. So is the EU our enemy, specifically Britain, France, and Germany? Yes and no. The people certainly aren't. Their leaders, though, are corrupt worms and deserve gallows for selling out their citizens. Yeah, ditto, huh? Ditto here in the U.S. Is Julian Assange in the USA? You betcha. For months now. Was extracted back in December. Q team actually posted the mission to everyone right after. So I haven't taken the time to go look at that, but you guys might want to do that. So I forgot to post my title of this there. Here it is. No, you guys are having some great. Hello from Colorado. Hello from Lavetta. Hey, Colorado. So some good discussion going on up here, but I have so much material to cover. I'm going to keep on rolling here. Some just great things that I think that you guys, I just thought this, I had to share this because it was just so exciting to me to read some of these things. How about the secret space programs? Do we have colonies on the moon, Mars? Will we close the gap between public tech and black project breakaway tech? He says, we do have a secret space programs. So we do have secret space programs. Not colonies and not on Mars yet, but more advanced tech than people realize. So it's a secret space program with a lot of advanced technology, so that'll be real interesting if that's true. After the cabal comes down, what's next? What does the future look like? It looks like a world without sick, disgusting sycophants leading the way towards complete destruction. Worldwide peace. A world without constant threat of reality of war, destroying all we hold dear. A better world by far. Not perfect, but much, much better for everyone. Is that not what we're fighting for? This is right, the Great Awakening, Second American Revolution, a world with peace in it. How awesome is that going to be? And be a huge blessing from the Lord, right? Is Bibi a good guy? How was Scalia murdered? Anthony Scalia. He says, Bibi is a career politician. Never trust a politician. Now, you know, based on Mark Taylor prophecies, etc., I believe Bibi is a white hat. But he is a career politician, and that does come with some baggage sometimes, similar to maybe Pence, etc., right? Scalia was murdered using saxitoxin. Wow, isn't that sad? And we literally have the Obama administration actually potentially order that? It's like, whoa. Is Pizzagate real? Did the Clintons have anything to do with it? Very real and absolutely center stage. So this guy just seems point on so far to me, guys. Why June 11th? It's an important anniversary for Julian Assange. Hey, you know what? I just realized I always thought it was like if you go back, I was looking at 2017. So I probably should have looked back at 2016, 2015. So if you guys find anything cool on June 11th in the past for Julian Assange at some type of an anniversary, I'd like to let people know what that exactly is. But that's what I, the spy, is telling us. And then as people started asking a lot of questions, I think time was up by the time all these extra questions started coming in for feed 2. But I got 2 more to go to get some really cool answers from a supposed NSA insider. Oh, I found another one. Is Gitmo ready for large amounts of prisoners? Some have been taken there already. Will there be tried with military tribunals? Are there plans to implement ultimate punishment for treason? Heads will roll. Treason comes at a cost. So I think that kind of answers all those yes, right? I believe all those are yes as well. And here's another answer. Will the truth about Las Vegas shootings be revealed in full to the public? Will the perps pay? Will justice be served for the witnesses? 187 after. Yeah, there's a lot of 187 murdering of the witnesses that saw multiple shooters, right? Yes and yes. Justice will happen for everyone in every way we can make it happen. Vegas is a blight that needs cleared up. Multiple shooters. Paddock was a clown patsy assassin assassinated to cover tracks to create a false narrative. So much evil that night will be revealed soon. Hallelujah. Well, that will be a good day, won't it? I hear other people saying, yes, Trump 2020. I hear you. Ancient history. I say this says, Is Cabal culturally related to Frankists or the Babylonian cults as per B. Cooper? Ancient history, but yes, in that they worship Moloch, the ancient Babylonian god of human sacrifices, children especially. Is that not just scary? The god of human sacrifice, that's actually children being sacrificed? Wow. And we have it going on today in this world by the elite. It's like crazy. Is Hog MK Ultra? How old is he really? Hog is a clown, plain and simple. Yeah, basically his dad, I think, is in the CIA, etc. So, what was the Charlton church shooting a false flag? If by false flag you mean was it preventable and allowed to happen for the purposes of a media narrative, then yes. Yeah, it's allowed to happen because they could have rounded it up many times, right? Here's another one. It says, will Julius Assange be freed and pardoned? Yes. And Julian will be responsible for destroying the cabal he always hated. 6/11 is when it all goes down, right before the North Korean summit. 6/11 in us date, but 6/12 for their date. So that's interesting, talking about 6/11 for U.S. versus 6/12 for the North Korea. Both dates matter. That's interesting. I wonder if even if the 6/10 date was that we just studied, right? That would be really interesting. Samson option. The reason Israel is being saved for last? The Samson option is not what we are worried about with Israel. Different reason entirely. Stepping on Q's toes here would get me killed fast. Sorry, no desire to end in a box, in a kill box. He's got brackets with a kill box. So basically he's not answering the question about why Israel is last. So I think there's an important reason why. We'll find out soon. School shootings, black ops, mind control, both. Depends on the event. Some are flukes. There are crazy people. Some are false flags, planned events using stooges who can be manipulated, easily into violent action. Still others are just allowed to happen when they could have otherwise been prevented. The clown playbook is varied. Yeah, that's just crazy. Logical, thank you. Over 30,000 sealed indictments. How will that play out? Most of them quickly in one fell swoop. That's the second time he's answered that one. So the more I look at this, the more, he seems to be relatively legit here to me. You guys let me know what you think. I'll look here. Tell me what you think, if you think I, the spy, has any legitimacy or it's a psyop. I'd love your opinions. I'll read them here in just a second. So is Snowden a good guy? Says, was a liability for sure, 50-50 good and bad, was almost killed because of it, repeatedly, was tracked across the globe, smart cookie, not smarter than the whole NSA. Now, pretty innocuous. Wow. That is pretty good information. I missed this one when you saw I had to open it up. I missed this one when I reviewed it before I came on live. So Love from Above is saying psyop. Anybody else have an opinion on is I, the spy, legit or a psyop? I think he's legit. That's my opinion. But what do you guys think? Somebody saying my wife's from South Korea and they are 12 hours ahead of the East Coast. Yep. They won't destroy Jerusalem. God won't allow it. I agree with that. I think he's legit, says Kimberly. So I'm with Kimberly, but hey, I respect everybody's opinion here because this is not a for sure thing. That is for sure. So let's go to I think this is the third one. So again, he's asking for questions. I'm going to skip that in the interest of time. And here's, will tribunal trials and executions be televised for the public to see? Yes. Worldwide, got flies in here now. Yes, worldwide justice wouldn't do much good if no one saw it. Heads will roll. What Nipah virus in India? What is Nipah virus in India? A man-made cross-species viral weapon that affects the actual RNA. Extremely dangerous and deadly. No cure. 75% fatality rate overall. 75% fatality rate overall. Wow. That's how we have evil people in this world just wanting to kill people for no reason, it seems like. Or maybe they do have a reason because they're sacrificing to Moloch, I guess. Just crazy stuff. Here we are. It says airborne, superficial, or intimate contact, both. Direct physical contact, thankfully, not airborne. Okay, so that's good news, but still scary stuff, right? Now, on this thread, looks like it might have been a pretty short answer period. He's gone dark for a while. A lot of people are pounding him with questions, as you can see, with no answers. Here's another one. Sessions, good guy or no? Trust Sessions unless Q team tells you otherwise. So that's where I am on that. So again, that's why I think this guy's legit. Everything seems to be the way I would answer it, but of course you could be a psyop but he seems to know a lot more than I do, and seems to have some inside sourcing here. I think Q said regarding full disclosure of information withheld from humanity and secret deeds of the cabal, only about 60 to 40 as disclosed would be too painful for some. Is this still the case? Or will there be a full public disclosure at some point? And he says 60-40 is just what you see happening now. Full disclosure will come. Pain comes 6-11. So they're pounding 6-11, I tell you. It's a lot. When will chemtrails stop? When the war is over. How many deep undercover military bases do black hats still control in USA or worldwide? USA 0, that's good news. Worldwide, a handful. So it sounds like they still have a few bases worldwide. Will Soros be dealt with on 6/11 or later? He says, President just signed an EO, right to try. Look for experimental procedures. There are many depending on the kind of cancer. So it looks like that was not answered to that. It looks like it was answered to something else. So it looks like it jumped there. But interesting nonetheless. Any significance about the parade Mr. President wants in D.C. could kind of surround the whole swamp, make sure no one escapes? Over the mark. No one sneezes without us knowing. So this does say there might be a lot of arrests going on all the way in November after the election, which is sad and late for me because I was hoping it was going to be summertime. But I guess they won't be able to walk the streets after the 6/11 and the period once all this stuff starts coming out and the media gets a hold of it. Hopefully it starts spewing some truth. Any significance of the okay, it said over the mark, no one sneezes without us knowing. Here's a question about any idea what this is. It was an eye on Antarctica for all-seeing eye, and he basically says it's an isoperic wind patterns caused by the Earth's rotation. So it doesn't mean that doesn't seem like to be much. Is Obama's back channel real or fake? He says fake. Will Antarctica facilities be destroyed or used? Boomed to dust eventually. So supposedly there's these big cities in Antarctica that are actually being used as part of the deep state evil plan. And he says they're going to be destroyed. Is Rod Rosenstein good or bad? Is Mueller good or bad? RR is not your friend. And look, he doesn't answer the big question. The big question I've been talking to you guys about, where I think Mueller is actually working for the White Hats and did a deal. And so basically, RR is a black hat. And Q did say something about if RR's dirty, Mueller's dirty, right? But I think that's the misinformation. So we'll see. We'll see if my theory's right. A lot of people think I'm crazy, but I still hold to the fact that I think Mueller's going to have the biggest sting in history as he's feeding all this information to Horowitz and Sessions. Here we are on what's going on. Were the hurricane weather disaster events in the past man-made controlled? No. Tech isn't there yet. They would have it if they could have it, though. So I heard that they could actually not create it, but actually control it. So we'll see if he's right there. Is there a cure for diabetes? Depends on the kind of diabetes. So he's basically saying that might be good news for a lot of people that have certain kinds of diabetes. Should we be watching for televised announcements or EAS? Televised. So it looks like we won't have to have the emergency broadcasting system, that we'll have it televised. What is the Looking Glass? It's a control center that stays airborne in case we need it. Controls our nukes in the unlikely event ground control goes belly up. Will the internet be shut down soon? No. So that's good news. Did we set foot on the moon? Plenty of times. So there's back to the old NASA people and flat earthers. Let's not fall for that stuff. What ETs? So what extraterrestrials? I said probably he meant are here and working with the government. Yes and no. So that's an interesting answer there, basically saying that there are extraterrestrials, but they're not working for the government, I think is what it says. Are extraterrestrials here and working with the government? Yes and no. So they're not working with the government, I guess. So here's one that says, is there a cure for dementia? Stem cell treatment that replaces lost portions of the brain matter. So he's basically alluding to maybe there is. Hallelujah. Could that be awesome? Wouldn't it be, for especially having some of that problem in my family? Please give me some hope for England. Will we survive the current government? Bonds will be broken worldwide. You can bank on Q Team's intel. That's good news for you guys in Europe. Woo! Here's the point. How important are Planteteer, Sophia, and Alice to the success of Q Team efforts? Are they all controlled by white hats now or gray hats? AI is future of some parts of warfare. The human element remains far more important still. So he says, is Q okay? Concerned? Q is a team and very secure and safe. All right. Hoping I am allowed another question mark. What the heck? Is Hillary hiding? Wearing all those scarves, coats on hot days? Inquiring minds would love to know. So you'll probably see she's got something big sticking out of her back and stuff. A back brace. Punishment applied by her fellow cabal members. Whoa. That's the first time I've heard anything like that. That is pretty crazy. A back brace. Punishment applied by her fellow cabal members. Woo. Oh my goodness. Why are we here? Is the Bible true? Is Jesus real? You are a hero. Thank you, kind sir. Jesus of Nazareth appeared on the Roman census. Yes, he was real. The Bible was created by the Council of Nicaea. It's an incomplete collection of Hebrew writings. Too much to go into detail on here. Limited reply, space, sorry. Interesting stuff, because this comes, I think you see that Mark Taylor's predicting there's going to be new books found. He's actually saying the prophecy from God actually just says there's going to be an archaeological finding between Rome and the Vatican. I mean, the Vatican and Rome, I think that was. But, I'm sorry, Israel and the Vatican. And there's going to be an archaeological find. And Mark Taylor does not know for sure, but his interpretation, he thinks there's going to be new books and stuff found, which is going to be, could create a lot of confusion. But there's a huge archaeological find coming, supposedly. That'll be awesome. He says, Hillary Rodham would turn on her own daughter if it saved her. I will not save her. It will not save her. So, interesting. I'm not sure what they mean there. Why are we here? Is the Bible true? Is Jesus real? You are a hero? Thank you, kind sir. And so he basically saying, well, the Bible will save her. Sorry, guys. For those of you who hate her, her heart might be so hard and she might never be. But now he's getting to my expertise area, so he's treaded on the wrong ground here. Here it says, are the voting polls clean? Can the new machines be trusted? Should paper ballots be requested? Midterms are safe. Watch California. Woo! Woohoo! So there's going to be some big Department of Homeland Security revelations, I believe, and a lot of this whole thing about the massive corruption of our political electoral system is going to be, looks like, revealed. Once the cabal has fallen, what plan or insurance is in place to ensure that someone doesn't take up their torch and continue the work? Trust the plan. So in other words, we're going to be taking them down so hard, they're going to be pushed back 30, 40, 50 years before they are able to recover. So all those doom and gloomers who think that the world's going to end anytime soon, of course, we got to be ready for Christ at any time. But I tell you what, plan your life spreading the gospel with confidence and spreading the good news, not spending your life being doom and gloom and talking about going back into a cave or try some type of area. That is not what we're supposed to be doing as believers. The Bible does not tell us to go preach doom and gloom and go hide. It tells us to go fight. It tells us to spread the gospel, spread the good news to people. So that's what we need to be doing, obviously. Let's see. This guy says, what can you share regarding the HRC video? Fazzle drip is fake. Real video exists. Important leverage for now. Will be public one day soon. That's interesting. So it doesn't say that this, he's been really specific about the 11th, but it doesn't say the video is coming out on the 11th. What was HRC really doing in New Zealand? Getting paid and working on a plan to impeach the president. It will fail. Yeah, getting all that funding. We know that. Is social media and Chand used to train AI? Reverse your thinking. AI is used to weight and control the narratives on social media. So that's what they're doing right now. That's why we're talking. Bill Smith was just talking about he thinks he's shadow banned. It's a bunch of stuff that came out recently. Will it be safe to be away from home June 11th? Yes. Thank you very much for answering. It's seriously appreciated. No kidding about that. Where did the dollars come from that Obama gave to Iran? Your pockets mostly. Yeah, our tax dollars. Will the Federal Reserve be dissolved soon? Not soon. Eventually, yes. Structures must be in place or people the world over would suffer. So I think he typo there. Be in place or people all over the world would suffer, right? So that's good news. They're gonna wind down their Federal Reserve carefully, but they're gonna already confiscate all these bankers' money and jail them and all that stuff. So at least most of the pain's gonna be gone pretty soon. Cryptocurrencies, clown control, cabal control, opportunity to release humanity from its chains, no opportunity, limited form of transference. Inevitability, shudder them, leaving a few pockets lined and their consumers empty-handed. Wow. Investment advice. No investment advice here, but this is saying don't invest in cryptocurrencies. What that kind of says. It says no opportunity, limit forms of transference, inevitability, shudder them, leaving a few pockets lined and their consumers empty-handed. That's first time I saw that one. Why did Trump appoint Wilbur Ross to Commerce Secretary? One-stop shop. We need to improve our business models. What is the warehouse? What is the factory? What is Valhalla? What is Icarus? Thank you, sir. Varied answers. Pick one. Limited space to reply. So asks too many questions, I guess. So he didn't get a chance to even answer it. Was Zachariah Stitchin right? Over the mark. I don't know what that means. You guys let me know. I had to do some more studying on Zachariah Stitchin. He says he's right. I can't thank you all enough. This is beyond my wildest dreams. My burning question is, will Palestine be all right? Yes, there are no plans to hurt or suffocate any people. Goal remains breaking bonds worldwide. That'll be good news when we get, hopefully we'll get a lot of the terrorists and people not trying to kill each other. Hopefully is what's going to happen. Is Bitcoin cryptocurrency? Yes, Joanne, it is. Late because I was watching our president. Thank you all for all you do. Hi, Rise Above. I didn't realize I'm competing with the president right now. I probably don't have many people online. So here we go. So if you've learned anything amazing, Rise Above, let me know, and I'll announce it here. Here we go. So that was. We'll go one more thread, and then I got a bunch of other news that I'm going to probably hold for tomorrow, just because this is getting so long. So we'll go over this last one, say a prayer, and then wrap it up. But here we are, 30-minute Q&A, and here he is, and he's talking about it. Here's biggest active threat to the plan. No threat. Plan is solid and cannot be stopped. And Isn't that, boy, I hope this guy's right. That's all I can say. Will all the artifacts that the Smithsonian is hiding from the population be revealed? Over the mark. Monolithic structures are where the true history is hidden. Interesting. Here's a person asking, what really happened with the Southwest Flight 1380? Why? How was one person taken out, and was the whole plane in on it? Sorry for so many questions about one topic. Thank you so much for doing this. Over the mark, engine sabotage meant to blow the plane up completely. Failed along with the failed 17 attack on the U.S. Air Force the same day. Q team warned well in advance of both. Woo! Crazy stuff here. That's what I could say. Type 1 diabetes insulin-dependent cure? Not yet. When the body doesn't produce insulin, you've got to substitute it somewhere. The mechanism behind it is being studied intently, though. Expect big breakthroughs over the next half decade. So that's pretty cool. Over the next 5 years, we might have some huge, not only release technology that's going to heal us, but also new studies are going to be unleashed that are being now throttled by the evil elite, the evil cabal, right? Will Huma and or Valerie Jarrett be charged with crimes? Do zebras wear stripes? Prison awaits soon enough. Wow, there's a lot today that was on. I think you know that Roseanne's show got canceled supposedly because she said something about Valerie Jarrett. She apologized for it. Says she's off Twitter, and sad stuff that's happened. But it's probably because of QAnon. Why she was really posting a lot on QAnon. Here's something that says, what happened to MH370? Pilot suicide the plane to kill the passengers. 187 to cover up. So I'm not even sure what MH370 is. See if some of the people online might know. South Dakota Patriot here. Nice to see you, Denny. But let's keep on rolling here. We have a question about bright future for California. Red Dawn. That's basically saying that there's going to be a Republican wave, a red dawn, right? That once all the illegals stop voting, there's going to be a bunch of these people that have stolen offices for years out of there. Thank goodness. This one says, a red storm is coming to go. Will California leave the union? No, they will go red. So that's another confirmation as California is going red. Is that just not amazing? I mean, that's just like, basically it's patriots. Patriots from the Republican Party has some bad parts to it. The Democratic Party has basically sold out. They don't even have God in their platform anymore, right? So obviously, to me, this red now is this new color of red. It's the patriot red versus these rhino Republicans and the Democrats have moved away from God so heavily, right? So how exciting that California is going to be red. I hope this guy is legit because he sure sounds legit to me. Is Mueller an honest cop or a political operative? Remember that 90 minutes meeting between Mueller and DJT? I do. Mueller is a special guy. This one's still in motion. Can't really leak it. The reason he can't leak it is because they're trying to keep him in suspense. They want them to depend on Mueller and keep doing stupid things because Mueller is basically he's on a military mission to take down the deep state now, right? But and he's creating massive distractions on purpose. So that's what I believe, and you can tell he purposely is not allowed to talk about it because that's part of the plan is to keep that distraction there. British royal family. That's why it's good for you who disagree with me to keep disagreeing with me. That's what it's supposed to be. That's part of the plan. If everybody agreed with me, it wouldn't be the greatest thing in history, right? British royal family to be abolished. That will be up to their citizens soon. Exposed, though, absolutely. Boy, is that good news for Europe. Is that good news? Oh, wow. Just to pray that this guy is legit because, boy, this sounds fun. This is as fun as QAnon, right? Was Admiral Byrd's journal correct? Did he find hollow earth and the beings that dwell there? So he says, well, Antarctica has a whole man-made world beneath it. It's It isn't the admiral's idea, but it is there. So basically, the criminal deep state has one of their underground tunnels right there, built a whole huge world down in that below Antarctica. That's what the whole hollow earth thing was by Admiral Byrd. Justin Trudeau, puppet of the deep state? Yes or no? Huge puppet. Connected to Soros and bond funds and Rothschilds and royals, etc. He's also a nasty pedophile, just for the record. Whoa. What's the Sky event? North Korea summit plus something special that I'm not revealing. I don't want to end up in a kill box. So the Sky event, we talked about that, where it's up on that big, huge buildings with in the sky, right? So obviously there's something else going to be there that's going to be more exciting. He said that twice, by the way. Who are the Obama's real parents? A couple of Kenyans. Doubt anyone would know them. Whoa. President Trump's been right about everything. Even back 5-8 years ago, right? Here's some more we hear. Will this... Oops. Sorry about that. I scrolled too far. Missed a couple of things. Will the internet media be free? No censorship. When IBOR happens. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. This jumped pretty heavily, so let me go back up here. Will the secret space programs be revealed? Mars, corporate facilities, etc. Over the mark. We are not on Mars yet. We do have secret space programs, though. Hypersonic space weapons program. Also, Mycroft can basically eat other satellites. The bite with no cure. Is there a cure for Lyme's disease? Strong combined antibiotics if it's caught early enough. So, interesting that this stuff has all been hidden from us. Will the internet media be free? No censorship? When IBOR happens. I read that earlier. So I think we're about done because I think he kind of finished up here as his time was up. Let's just scroll down real quick to just make sure we're not missing anything. And we'll pray and wrap it up. I'm not going to do a prophecy today just because we are running massively late and I've got my wife coming home. So, so the rest of this I don't see. Oh, there he is. Here's one more here. Will 611 silence Bannon, Clapper, Comey, and McCabe? 611 is a big day. It reveals the truth. I'll take that as a yes. Was Trump's plan to take down the deep state all laid out ahead of running for office, and did plan change much afterward? Not Donald J. Trump's plan. Plan uses Donald J. Trump because Donald J. Trump was an insider and grew to hate the insiders. Donald J. Trump is the face of the plan. He looked through the door of all doors and decided to help. So I think that Julian Assange showed him a bunch of things. Admiral Rogers probably showed him a bunch of things. So we are blessed to have Donald J. Trump as our president, obviously. It looks like there's a few others I might have missed here. Here we are. What were those pics on Epstein Island showing? Looked like they were sitting on buckets, too blurry to make anything out. Slaves. That's interesting. Says there's slaves there on Epstein Island. Okay. Here's another one. To what extent has MB infiltrated our government? At one point, they had a president that far. Wow. So let me know what MB is. I'm sure it's pretty obvious. MB. What is that? Tell me what you think MB is. They're smart people on the line. So it says, what extent has MB infiltrated our government? At one point, they had a president that far. So basically, the president that was loyal to MB, Muslim Brotherhood. Duh. Okay. So that was Obama, obviously, talking about it. To what extent does Muslim Brotherhood infiltrate our government? At one point, they had a president that far. Bin Laden raid, real or fake? Was bin Laden killed that night in pack, or was he long dead already? Real, but now what you think. Assassination to cover evidence. Yeah, but not what you think. Real, but not what you think. Assassination to cover evidence. Woo! And that's the evidence that's going to reveal what really happened on 9/11, right? Scientology, good, bad, clown, cold, controlled, indifferent? Sorry, it's a dumb question. He says bad. I would agree with that on Scientology. So this guy's on point, guys. There hasn't been anything he said I've disagreed with so far, except for the fact that he may not have been alluded to that HRC could not be saved by the Bible, but he might have been talking about something else. Was lead paint outlawed because spy tech couldn't see through it? Lead is highly toxic. So that's a no to that question. When can we expect to see actual arrest in surveillance crimes against America? Soon. Heads will roll too. Not everyone gets away with cuffs. And let's see. Another couple here. Jeez. Every time I start going too fast, here goes. Here's that big, huge string that Julian Assange put. What is this? Will JA drop this on 6/11/18? It's a message hidden in color codes. Identifier for Julian Assange. 6/11/18 does deal with Julian Assange. Yeah, so I went and looked at this. I think it was last night, real late, when and all these videos. I couldn't make heads or tails of it, right? So it obviously just confirmed his identity. That was what it talked about. So the people that really in the know knew that. They didn't want everybody going wild on back channel 17, so they put misinformation, and Q said it was fake. That's what I'm guessing right now. I think it's Adam Schiffhead and Smallwell be put down for their obstruction. Shifty Schiff is in trouble already. You didn't know? Swalwell is a glorified troll. He just goes away in shame. Wow. So interesting stuff. This guy seems to know quite a bit, guys. So again, are we to stay in the Middle East indefinitely? No. That's good news. What kind of military base is located under Shima Island, Alaska? He says U.S. Air Force, Army, Joint Secret Intelligence Base, and also houses and lots of weapons. Giants found in status alive, true or false? And if true, are they Nephilim? False. So there's no giants in status alive. So this says, seems like Deep State has something on Sessions. He is coming across as useless AG. Trust Sessions. You don't get to over 30,000 sealed indictments by doing nothing as the AG. Is the dollar expected to crash? Is the market? Is there a good proactive stance we should be considering? Petrodollar and no. So the dollar's not going to crash, and the market's not going to crash. Is there a good proactive stance we should be considering? No. So basically no chances to get rich on speculating on this if this is true. What is the deal with Millennia? Recovering quietly from surgery, away from cameras. Let's let her have some privacy. Here's another question. Will there be a major solar event? Kill shot? Global economic collapse? Weather, earth change, famine? No. What was Jade Helm? Training exercise. Military does them constantly. Conspiracy designed around it to instill fear. Your military is made up of your brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, sons, and daughters. They will not betray you. Woo! Good news there, huh? Will California leave the Union? No. They will go red. He's answered that like 3 times. Will CNN, etc., ever be taken to task for the lies they have perpetuated, right? Perpetuated, my goodness, on the American public? Thanks so much for keeping this channel of information open to patriots. Yes, they already are on their way toward total bankruptcy. Beautiful thing, CNN going toward bankruptcy. Will Feinstein and Pelosi be indicted? You bet. Selling state secrets is a bad MK. Yeah, I would tell you what. Yeah, selling state secrets and getting rich off of it, Feinstein and Pelosi. Will the UN be restructured or torn down? The place is corrupt with capital C. So anyway, as you can see, I would recommend following I the Spy. At the very minimum, this is great information. It's like, woo! Cryptos, good, bad. All cryptocurrency is a scam. Now that is interesting stuff. That would David Seaman would not like this guy. So interesting stuff. So his advice is to stay away from cryptocurrency. What will happen to child protective services in our country when trafficking is brought to light? House will be cleaned big time. Not all are bad. So child protective services, I guess there's some good guys still there. Iran is next. Israel is last. Are the Zionists going to be exposed as the synagogue of Satan? Israel has a dark, dark history. Last for a reason. Structure. So that'll be interesting. Are Apple the good guys? No. Woo! So that's it. Silicon Valley sold out. We know that because they knocked off Gab. You can't even get Gab on the Apple Store. Can't get it on Google either. So Google and Apple are part of this criminal cabal elite. It'll be interesting to see how they get punished later. Serious? Not trolling? How can we fully trust the plan and believe white hats in charge, controlling everything, but we can't even stop Jack or who's that? What's a little picture of a dog from taking down BC's 17th page. Oh, it's a clown. So I see that's a clown. Didn't look like a clown from where I was. So we can't stop Jack, who's Jack Dorsey from Twitter, and the clowns, the CIA, from taking down Back Channel 17th page or censoring us, or even Facebook from doing the same. Been bugging me for a while now. Do we have anything to stop them? So this, he says, how can you fully trust what has been repeatedly proven to you? By using simple logic and limiting your influx mechanisms of needless doubt. Work with facts. That should be enough. So this is back to QAnon is legit, guys. There's so much evidence we've seen. He's legit, right? And the Spy here is confirming that. Is there hope for MSM ever doing its real job? One day, yes. That's in total unison with Mark Taylor's about that we're going to have truth coming back to the media. Is that not going to be a glorious day? Is Justin T. the son of Fidel Castro? No. When was Andrew Breitbart murdered? When you shake the trees, exposing the bad apples, you have to be careful of getting hit by them on their fall down. Andrew forgot to be careful. Wow. I think we all know that he was killed, though, by, even though it was supposed heart attack. So sad that some of the great heroes were killed off by these criminals, right? Boy, did we get a lot of answers here. And we have some more here. Will we see gallows used in the U.S.? Something like that, yes. So there's going to be public executions, obviously, of some sort in the United States, it looks like, according to the Spy. And I think that might be the last one. We'll scroll down just a little bit more just to make sure. But I would really highly recommend, if you guys want to follow my logic as I test this guy. Again, I don't think you can ever really trust everybody. I'm going to... oh my goodness, he had a whole nother one here. But this is getting too long here. Madeleine McCain, connection or not? No coincidence, connected. Is the communist Pope Francis going down? He already was on his way out. Will the First and Second Amendments stay fully intact? Will laws that override them be repealed? Rights stay. The rest is a process that takes time. I haven't read this part yet. I remember this came up just right before I went live. Here it goes. Do Rothschilds here leverage on Trump? No. I knew that. That's perfect. People are trying to claim that, though, right? Will Hillary Rodham Clinton ultimately go to jail? No, not jail. And that actually shows death, 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 right? Interesting. I think she might not be killed because of just some of Kim Clement's prophecies, if Kim Clement's prophecies are true. Did No Name Firestart the cause the U.S. forestall fire? Was he really the only one removed from the ship that night? Not the only survivor. Zilla Topper was there too. Traitors being traitors. Yes to the fire starter. How widespread is the cabal's blackmail? Very widespread. So this person says, replying to I the Spy, how did Richard Parent's artwork posted about Marina Abramovich knowing about the contents of WikiLeaks spirit cooking affecting the election on April 18th, 2015? Stranger predicting her spirit cooking part in the election. Marina was never a secret, belonged to the French Society of Magicians since 1991. Interesting. Chelsea Clinton. What about her? Satanic puppet in training, following in HRC's footsteps exactly. Wow. Will the Chicago mob or whatever be taken down? Yes. In the works right now. Mayor is very corrupt, must be removed to clean city up. I think we knew that. That's a beautiful thing, though, that's in progress. Joan Barrett Ramsey, connected to the child trafficking or not? Mind control slave, killed by her family and then sick friends, absolutely connected. Does all of this ultimately lead to the ascension of humanity? It leads to freedom from global enslavement. Is that not true? Who is behind all this misinformation and media manipulation? The same elite families who are behind trafficking innocent children all over the globe. Soros, Bronfman, Rothschild, etc. They've been at it for centuries. Never really a secret. Was the cancellation of Roseanne part of the plan? If she have sneezed wrong, they'd have canceled it. Elites hate her. Always have. Overloads, aliens, demons, both? Neither? Some stranger? Good versus evil is real. Interesting. Didn't really answer a lot of those questions because there's like 3 of them in there. Overloads, aliens, question mark, demons, question mark. We know those are real. Those are who are understand the Bible. Both, neither, or some stranger. So he's confirming that there's aliens and demons, I think, is what he's basically trying to say. I have a trouble with that. I'm still learning this whole truther movement, guys, after 2.5 years of digging into the details of this. You can tell I'm an obsessed person. That's why I love teaching, because I just learn so much when I do this, and that's why I get blessed, because it's such a blessing to learn all this. And I just have this personality that has to be the gift of knowledge I believe God gave me, where I just dive in deep. So you guys are experiencing that. Thanks for sticking with me. Let me know how you think I can improve. All means all, he says here. When said, we have it all, is this evidence or knowledge or both? As in, we have enough ammo to permanently dismantle the cabals, cartels, etc.? All means all. So they have everything. Do the Earth's frequencies and or frequency as humans represent any part of bringing all darkness to light? No. Interesting. Will there be financial reset, debt cancellation, jubilee? Not quite. The Fed is doomed eventually, though. Debt slavery will be checked. But would this be? I had a horrible experience with my business in 2008. And I realized as I read these books and get study is that was caused by these freaking money manipulations of the putting tons of money in circulation and restricting it to purposely create recessions and depressions to destroy people like me and you, right? It's crazy. Here's this, says, why will big tech, big data, big brother be able to control motorcycles, riders in a similar way to how they plan to control cars, drivers' movement? If yes, what is their strategy? If no, why not? No. Problems will prevent them from doing this. So basically, they might have driverless cars, but we're not going to have driverless motorcycles. Grand solar minimum and the predicted mini ice age, fake or real, and if real, steps to prepare. Solar minimum is real, but harmless. No ice age coming. Sorry, Gore. You got massive wealth lying to people about it. Much thanks. Massive tunnel network connecting all Walmarts? No. So there are some conspiracies out there that he's confirming is no. Was Oklahoma City a clown job cover-up by the Clintons? Big cover-up. Is that not crazy? Is it safe to eat meat? I don't want to be a cannibal. Yes, it's very safe as long as you cook it properly. So I was just talking about meat in general. I don't think it's talking about human meat there. Closer to ET disclosure? Yes. Is the Bible the inspired word of God? No. Now this guy's completely wrong here. It is choosy collection of Hebrew scriptures pieced together by a council of Nicaea under the orders of the Emperor Constantine for the early Roman church. Missing lots. Now, it might be missing some. That's true. But we know it is the divine word of God for sure. And too many lives have been changed, and it teaches us who the true God is. And that's why we can clearly teach against false religions with the authoritative word of God. Now, is there more coming? I think so. I think it's going to be an exciting time for us. If Tor is a spooky red flag, is there a way to hide online? Tor plus VPN or just know they know? Big red flag, no. We know everything. What was with those floating cities in China a while back? Project Bluebeam, perhaps? Not a city, UFO. Wow. So this guy's on the UFO train. So I guess I need to start studying this part much. This is where we come off the rails with him. I come with the Bible and the UFOs. We'll see. If there are no portals but UFOs are real, how do they get here from such a distance? Outer space is not what you think it is. Interstellar travel isn't like you've been taught. So that'll be interesting. Does the IC have satellites with X-ray capabilities that can see inside of any person's home? We can see anywhere at any time, even deep underground. Whoa. Actually, here's one I actually want answered more than anything. Are celebrity clones a thing? We all know about MK Ultra, but are clones real? No, not with humans. They want immortality, not replacements. D.B. Cooper, 1971, skyjacking. Clown op? Clown that wanted out. Wow, that'll be interesting to go. I haven't researched D.B. Cooper's 1971 skyjacking. He's a clown that wanted out. What did Princess Diana discover that got her killed? What do we all know about Prince Andrew and AMD Epstein now? Epstein and Epstein Island. Interesting. So she found out about the pedophile network, it looks like. Will everything come out in June, or will things continue after? Crap happens, the fan, right, in the 11th of June. But this is a process just the same. Trust the plan. That's what I thought. So might be big stuff happening here in a few weeks, but there's still going to be, have to rolled out over time. And I think the rest are going to be later in the summer, is my belief. And that it's going to be like as if they can't, after everybody knows what they've done, and they're going to want us. And the people that hate us now are going to be asking us to arrest them, is what I believe is going to be the turning point. The Roswell crash, real alien crash? And if so, did they really recover alien bodies? Yes, very real. Wow. Is Trump related to Tesla? Not physically. Has Tesla tech, though? So obviously working with, Trump must be working with Tesla. Who was the target that was extracted during the Atlanta airport shutdown? Soros. Information squeeze. Whoa! So the Atlanta airport shutdown, he's saying it was a Soros operation to keep him from squeezing information out of him. Are cryptocurrencies being controlled by government? Thanks for your time. Cryptocurrencies are a scam. All of them. So he's saying stay away from cryptocurrencies. What will come of Obama in the future? He says execution, pretty much. Head rolling. That will be interesting. And so, see if he's finished now. That was the 5th question and answer period from I the Spy. Oh, here's one. Did the Pentagon get hit by cruise missiles on 9/11? Staged event. Yeah, we kind of knew that, right? Like that would have had been perfectly low over to actually hit exactly where it was. So they destroyed some stuff in the Pentagon they wanted to get rid of and use that as a staged event. See if I the Spy answers anything else. Here's Bill Smith asking some stuff. Yeah, that's a good question. I want that answered, I the Spy. Is Flat Earth a project used to discredit the truth movement? I think the answer there is yes, definitely. So basically this person's trying to say that I the Spy is Q, and he's saying effing moron, I'm not Q. And that was his last one, it looks like. Oops, this keeps rolling. This just keeps rolling. Guys, this has been fun for me, though. Just like I learned, I probably read most of those, but probably around 30% of them I either didn't read carefully or didn't get to that last one. So that was fun experiencing that together with you. I really appreciate you guys taking the time with me. It's a privilege to be here talking about these awesome things. Here's another one. Elaborate on the monolithic structures, some please. The similar Stonehenge found on Mars, now dubbed Marsh Edge. Why didn't NASA reveal that photo till recently? Why was it provided now? So he says, Bronze Age and older. History you've been taught lies. Timelines are false. Tech was around before. And then it was like explosion, reset the clock. So interesting. Not sure exactly what he's talking about there. So if you guys have some ideas, let me know. Is Hawaii volcano naturally occurring, or was it intentional via outside influence? Natural. We need Trump to go full blaze, and soon. Will he? Sky event. So that's June 11th, sky event, right? June 12th is the actual deal. So here's the last part of this. See if it has any more here. What Pharma said. So this basically is a question here. What is the sky event? He says what Pharma said, which is basically North Korean summit, right? Plus something special that I honestly think needs to stay a surprise. How do you suppose the revelations of 6/11 will unravel? Which thread will be chosen by the media, etc.? Human trafficking, social media connection is my assumption, but I'm not sure. Just wait and see. Giving away the plot ruins the movie. So he's not telling us. It's like, oh my goodness. So this person says, marvelous, your ancient lineage of your idea of Israel. Blessed. Wake up. Please wake up. Freeman King says. So ancient image of your idea. I'm not sure. Maybe must be talking about Israel. So how so he's not going to give up the movie here. There must be something important that nobody has asked a question for. What is something you feel we need people to know? The way you are taught about World War II is a farce in many ways. Interesting. So World War II was a farce in what we know about it. Okay, the other day I asked a couple of questions, but you asked me to pick just one to ask. I did, but you didn't answer. What can you tell us about the white planet? Snow White. White planet is Snow White. What is the significance of the Bohemian Grove? What happens there? Moloch, sacrificial rites, passing through the fire, sick things. We kind of knew that. Are the reptilians real? And are they here? No. Hey, well, at least that part. This whole thing about reptilians, at least hopefully he's put that to bed for some people. Some people are going to believe whatever they want anyway. Here's some things. No communication outside of Q. It's pretty simple. They want to derail you. And they call him a name there. Trolls trying to convince people I'm Q. SMH, I don't have the class to be Q. F off with the ignorant BS. NorCal fires. Some are just the area. Some were zaps from lasers that ignited areas. Yeah, we saw those, right? Some of those. Will Disney parks be targeted, dismantled? Major house cleaning will happen. Wait for the stories behind closed doors to open wide soon. We have people singing now. Wow, Disney parks. Maybe some ugly things going on there. Is Monsanto taking over medical marijuana? No, marijuana will be removed from Schedule 1 soon. Part of the plan to dismantle the prison industrial complex. Whoa, that's going to make a lot of people happy. We just had them as 13 people starting fires here, Clifford says. Astronomical, some people are. So isn't that crazy? You just see what I read is that marijuana is going to be removed from Schedule 1 soon to basically this prison complex thing that's going on. It's going to be dismantled. Knife crimes rise in UK. Incited by elites, fearmonger, will it stop? Response to control mechanism. Control incites rebellion in order to take more control. Yes, binds will be broken worldwide. Woo! I'm sure glad that people in Europe are happy to hear that. We will be surprised to see who some of the black cats are. Very. So there's going to be some people we think are really good people that are going to be surprise us. There are really portals to the dimensions and time travel. Thank you. No portals, no time travel. Time is linear. Otherwise, we wouldn't need the plan. Right? So no time travel, no portals. Nazis and the church were besties. The empire never died. Interesting. I wonder if that comes down to something to do with World War II. The only time travel that exists is death or rapture. Just saying. This says Nazis and the church were besties. The empire never died. Wow. So basically that's saying that the Nazi went into the Roman Catholic Church and the Vatican, I would guess is what he's saying there. What is CERN really up to? Trying to capture immortality. And failing. They're looking for the portals. He just said aren't there. What was the first you learned that blew your mind? Rothschild's family history and gold market manipulation in order to start and control wars the world over. Yeah, that is. We're reading about that in the book on the killing of the killing of Uncle Sam. We've read the first 3 chapters. We're going to start 4 here later in the week. We are in the natural state of emergency already. Will the Republic be reoccupied when war is over or shortly thereafter? Natural transition after state of emergency? We are in national state of emergency already. Executive order on human trafficking declared it. That was the December 21st executive order. Is Hollywood and the music industry going to be exposed? If so, what happens after? Still getting movies and music, etc.? More than they constantly already are exposed. Yes, the deep perversions of the Hollywood satanic elite will be brought to light in an inorable way. So an unorable way soon. Thank goodness. Won't that be just a glorious day? Why is Netflix willing to ruin their company by signaling the Obamas? Because Netflix belongs to George Soros. Wow. George Soros owns Netflix, supposedly controls it. So he can get Sally Yates to be on the board and Obama to come and be hired. Underwater secret military bases, real or not? Real as real can be. Wow, we got underwater military bases. London mayor corrupt, UK. Super corrupt Muslim Brotherhood. The MB I couldn't remember from last time. Yes, blessed teach, they did it to so many. Yeah, so let's see here. What are your thoughts on the percentage of population that won't be able to accept what is coming? Follow up. How many evil eyes are on the board and watching? You are the majority AI mechanisms wait online opinions to change that narrative and make their numbers seem much greater. Yes, there's patriots everywhere. We have the large majority, but all the illegal voting and the manipulating of social media makes it look like we're not. What's the importance of June 11th to Julian Assange? 1 year ago, okay, here's the answer. Awesome. 1 year ago, on 6/11, Julian was at a function with MIA called the Royal Festival, also called Meltdown Festival. When Julian left the UK, he posted a special stringer alongside the MIA song Paper Planes. Put 2 and 2 together. So the song Paper Planes, something to do with the MIA. So I'm not sure exactly what that is. You guys have to dig into that to me. I'm going to read it one more time. 1 year ago on 6/11, Julian was at a function with MIA called the Royal Festival, also called Meltdown Festival. When Julian left the UK, he posted a special stringer alongside MIA song Paper Planes. Put 2 and 2 together. So he must have exposed them or something. I'm thinking through. You guys, let me know if you think you know what that whole JK thing. The Wheat from the Shaft says, MAI Group, Kathy says. MAI is a band. He posted the music video. Gotcha. Thank you, Anne-Marie. So that would make sense, because if that big stringer had a music video, the first of one of many videos. What really happened with Michael Jackson? At which point, he had a messed up life and was used the whole way through by various parties. Pity the man. That's too bad. I made it. Reference to the underground. Threat level, big and dumb or small and smart. Phil Snyder's true fault. Bigfoot a hoax. Is our military on a war plane with all threats? And I don't expect the question to be answered. One would be amazing, though. Thanks for what you do. Threats contained. So threat level, threats contained. He answered one of them. Neon Revolt. Neon Revolt is a clown. Learn to verify. Whoa! Now that's huge. I've had some Neon Revolt things here. Neon Revolt did say that back channel 17 was false. So this is quite wild, because I thought Neon Revolt was pretty significant. So, man, guys, trying to tell who these truthers are and false and who's the psyop and who's telling the truth is something that we're going to have to do together. We'll pray about it. Pray for wisdom. Is Edragon a puppet? Turkish one, no. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. Maybe just flip down here to see one more. With back engineered technology be part of the Sky event? No. And any info on the Grecians other than being a Soros target? So they're basically saying the Grecians were a Soros target. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up there. It's been real late, and we're gonna talk. This is amazing. We have some things coming on. If I spy too, I'll put his connections in there. I'd appreciate your feedback on whether you think it's a psyop or what's true, whether Neon Revolt's a psyop or is a clown. And let's really continue to pray for wisdom here, because we're going to need it as we go forward here. Most important, let's wake people up, let them know who the true God is, and put on our full armor of God, right? Which, as you know, is the belt of truth around our buckle, right? It is actually the breastplate of righteousness. It is the readiness that comes from our feet fitted with the readiness of the gospel. It is the helmet of salvation. It is the shield of faith, and the only offensive weapon is the word of God, which is the sword of the Spirit. And it is real, it is active, and it is true. And that is a pretty cool thing here. Let's pray a little bit right now, and then I'll wrap it up. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this information, Lord, and to give us wisdom on what is true and what's not true. Most of all, I know that what we need to be doing is letting other people in our immediate surroundings understand that you love them, and that there's a second American Revolution going on, Lord. I just pray that more and more people, their eyes will be opened, and that truth will be the winner here. Lord, just thank you for the privilege of being able to learn and teach as much as I can, and clear me up when I'm wrong about things, reveal to me things that I need to learn. And for everybody that's listening here, I pray for you just to give them massive amount of wisdom and the Spirit of God, please come down on them and allow them to explore truth like they've never seen it before. We pray for the protection of this president, protection of the White Hats trying to take down this evil. We pray for the evil plans. Just the frequency is all messed up. They can't communicate with each other, and it just gets complete confusion, and they turn against each other. Lord, we just pray for the healing of this land, the healing of this planet. We say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. All right, guys. Let me just spend a couple minutes to say goodbye to you. And it looks like we are having still quite a few people on. Rory's still here, and Joe and Brian and Love from Above and Joe Ashley. Praise the Lord. Amen. A lot of people. Thanks, Rick, once again for your perspective. Yeah, I appreciate you guys correcting me where you see I was wrong. I stopped listening to Neon Revolt months ago, says JM. Glad you guys told me that. And I was, when I saw Back Channel 17, I really felt there was truth there. And when I went back to Neon Revolt, he was basically saying it was false. So maybe we need to be careful there. Thanks, Rick. Bye-bye, says Joanne. Amen, says Anne Marie. Kate, thanks. I'm a Johnny-come-lately lot, as Rebecca says. All right, guys. Love this to do this, spend this time with you guys. Remember that to put on your armor of God, the full armor of God, and watch the news on 6/11/10 and also 6 and 10/10. This was the Cueanon news for May 29th. You guys have a great week. God bless.